recently just sold one of my cars that has been on the channel for 6 to 7 years, which is a little bit sad. But before we get to that, we are at Willow Springs today and we're gonna be doing some testing in the 350Z, the JZ car known as Selena, because we've made a bunch of changes and the last time we drove it, it was not driving too well. The car was having a lot of breakup issues and we noticed that it was losing its home sensor and was all over the place. Since then, we've replaced a whole bunch of sensors, our cam angle sensor, our VVTi, solenoid sensor, and a few other things. And when we went on a test drive at the shop, everything seemed to work just fine. But today, we're gonna go out and test it. And we have a few friends meeting us out here in a little bit as well. In the background of a bunch of other episodes, a lot of work has been done to this. Ian dropped the oil pan, fixed a whole bunch of leaks. What else did you fix, Ian?
We did crank sensor, cam sensor, oil pan seal, VVT solenoid, new turbo hoses because some of them was getting a little warm, settings in the ECU, a bunch of cleaning from having that oil pan that had been leaking, way too much cleaning. We changed over to the new Haltech in-one pressure and temp sensors for the coolant and oil. I'm excited to be able to have coolant pressure on that. I think that would have helped at grid life. Oil temp's always a good thing to have.
All right, so with this first time out, I'm really just gonna make sure the car has consistent power through all the gears. We'll do some light little testing, just make sure the car feels somewhat decent, and we'll be able to tell very quickly. Getting these tires up to the temperature they need to be is gonna give us the front grip necessary to give us that forward bite that we need. Ooh, those fronts are maybe a little too low. I'm gonna go back in. Those front tires are really too grippy.
Even when I was just warming up tires, it was just hooking and throwing me. And even then when I went through it in, the moment I get off gas, it grips up and rotates us. So I'd put it up, I would almost go like 25.
It's already at 20. Basically when you're at lock, this is gonna grip and it's gonna bite. So when it grips and bites, it pulls the front like hitting the brakes. So the higher the pressure, the more it's gonna slip, the less grip it's gonna have. So it's a really easy way to play with front grip other than doing springs and sway bar and shock tuning. So all we're doing is going up 5 PSI, hopes it gives the nose a little more slip so it pushes a little bit, and that should fix the problem.
All right, they were at 20, putting them to 25. Typically 20 is okay, but with this temperature difference, it wasn't too good. Oh, there we go. Oh, it feels so good. Well, the fixes we needed to make worked. Oh, yeah, it's so exciting.
I think when he is more comfortable with the car, the lower PSI is better for competition series because it adds that front grip which he needs when he's pushing behind another car. But because he's uncomfortable with the car because it had issues in the last event, he's a little unsure of it. So having it slip a little more makes him a little more sure of it.
So snappy, temperatures dialed, car feels so good.
That thing's eating right now.
Yeah, hey, great job, buddy.
That thing's absolutely, sounds like a monster.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna go a little bit farther in the pocket and do a little bit of a different layout. Oh, the Mustang. I am more into that 300 wide body kit than I am with the car itself. Now, I'm in quite a bit of debt with that car, and I don't know if I'm ever gonna be able to get it back. Stay tuned for more on that later, but good thing I have PDS Debt to help me out. PDS Debt is here to help everyone with their debt, because we all know getting into debt, pretty easy. Getting out, well, not as easy because the system is designed so you don't do it. If you're struggling with credit cards, medical bills, personal loans, Street Hunter Mustang builds, you need to check PDS Debt out. Everyone with $10,000 or more in eligible debt qualifies, and there's no minimum credit score required. And bad and fair credit is both accepted. If you're making payments every month on your debt and you're not seeing that balance go down, this is for you. Because with PDS, you can save more while paying off your debt in a fraction of the time. So stop waiting and start saving and go to pdsdebt.com/hunt to take your free debt analysis test. It only takes 30 seconds and it's only gonna help your situation and myself with the Mustang. Just kidding, that's a joke for legal reasons. Thank you so much to PDS for sponsoring today's video. Click the link down below. Do yourself a favor. Let's get back to today's video.
This sounds gnarlier than Redacted's Pro car. Yeah. Like this motor sounds so mean. This is
because you only heard it at Grid Life, so you were like distant.
This thing sounds like a monster. This is sick.
It's running so well. Our coolant temps never got above 200. Yeah, 260. Never got above 200. Oil temp after the 5th hot lap touched 260. But again, in a comp setting, you'll never do that much hot lapping. But even at 260, I did one pace lap, dropped about 17 degrees off of the rip, so it was really good. Dylan, load the banana. Feet.
Yeah, that's good, that's good.
Right there.
I hated the chunks. I didn't like the chunks.
Before we go back out, Ian's checking some of the logs on the computer and making sure everything looks good.
We're making our targeted 24 or so pounds of boost. Great on oil pressure at 111 pounds at 8,000 RPM. That's like good quality stuff. We got good fuel pressure. Coolant pressure's not crazy. And then coolant temp, 197. We'll live with that all day. Oil temp, 250. A bit of a long run, longer than our normal 2-lap.
Yeah, when I was kind of telling the camera earlier, I was like, in a competition sense, we're never going to be pushing it that long.
Yeah.
So that's expected. But we have a cooler on there, and it got it somewhat reasonably cooler relatively quickly. But the car felt super snappy, felt very good, sounded great, drove like it did when we first finished it. So I was talking with Ian. We replaced a whole bunch of sensors, as I told you guys, and we think the culprit was the crank sensor. We're not going to know for sure because we just replaced a whole bunch of them, but we replaced them with the new ones, not some old ones from like an old Supra. They're brand new from Toyota, and we have multiple spares. So if we ever run into this problem again, we should be set. But as we have over in those little bins over there, we've like slowly made an arsenal of every failure point that this car could have, from suspension wise to somewhat mechanical wise of the engine, as far as power steering pumps, spare alternators, spare coils, plugs, all that stuff. But also on the software side, we have spare sensors from everything from Haltech. So feels really good. This car is going to be technically retiring this year, but we wanted to finish out this year with one more solid test day, knowing everything is buttoned up, everything is running perfect, and it's clean underneath. Because next year, I get this comment a lot, we're going to be running the A90 Supra. If you guys remember the Mark V Supra we built, that's currently at Drift HQ, and we're essentially rebuilding the same car here. It's actually a little bit more closer to Adam's E36 Pro car. That whole setup, 3.4JZ with a G-Force transmission, quick change, pretty much building an FD car. The Supra will share a lot of the same components as the 350 so that we can have one collective, you know, whole box of spares for both cars. So it's gonna pretty much share the same thing.
Well, well, well. Throttle finally sees the track. Have my eyes
About to get smoked
fooled
today.
me. Yeah, you gonna drive?
Vic, show him, Vic. Show him. Show him how we pulling up, Vic.
All right, so while we're here, I'm gonna practice one of the old Pro-Am layouts. I'm gonna have a little bit of fun. I'm gonna try to see if I can work on throwing a really big backy for fun. So I'm gonna try to do a really aggressive flick to the left and see what we can dip into. That was sick. The way that you have to cross the entry there is a little bit awkward. It's really hard to cross and get the depth we need. So I'm gonna try to not go as wide towards the dirt on the left and aim towards more of the K-rails to try to get a better sweep. the sweep I wanted across, but the entry was super aggressive. That was so sick. Did a little bit of a, might need to do a service job on this trans. Trans is getting a little sloppy. I need to be more direct with my shifts. These Samsonos, you really need to be aggressive in putting them in gear. I've heard people having issues of exactly what just happened, so we're gonna need to just be really, really aggressive here. Uh-oh. Oh, I think we just lost third gear.
Really?
Let me go test this again, because in second it's fine. Let's get into third. Yeah, there's no third. Damn, that's a bummer. Well, the day was good up until that point. So, I mean, we can, what I think the best scenario is either gear it, so we just drive it in 4, or just make 2 extremely long. Make 2 as long as possible.
Yeah.
And then we just won't be able to do really high speed. But how those backies were fun.
They're sick.
was
Yeah,
a lot
when
of
you
fun.
started to like definitively flick it instead of just like power into
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
When you started to flick into it, I was like, that's my guy.
I had to be a little careful because when I had to make sure I was like gripping up enough so I didn't just wash out, so I could get a good aggressive flick.
Yeah,
But-
like initiating grip and making sure that you're gripped in the straight for you to have planted wheels and tires to flick off of is a good feeling versus just slipping through it.
Yeah, we've had this gearbox for
You can let it go.
5 years. We've never done a rebuild, we've just done a service, but it looks like the transmission said, I want to be fixed too now.
So you have these 2 gears. You have to look at the top ratio, bottom ratio. This same gear set makes a 364 and a 466, depending on if they're inserted like that or like that. I'm gonna confuse myself, so I'm gonna put it back. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go to a 484. We don't have a chart with this, so it's kind of just like a guess, but it's a good enough guess. It's that transmission has a lot of gears, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna put a 484 so he can use 4th instead of 3rd, and so he'll just use 4th to drive around the track instead of 3rd. And if he's spinning the out of 4th, then he has enough gears in the transmission to just go to 5th. So that's why I'm going very high with this gear, because he has a lot of gears in the transmission, and then he can just move his 4th or 5th and treat it as 2nd and 3rd. So that's what you're gonna watch me go do. I've created work for myself today.
No.
Yeah, okay. And then
I love that.
does that not make you feel good?
Good car. Good car.
We had so much speed.
All right, the car works. I'm super satisfied with how the day has gone so far, but Dylan's here. I'm gonna tell Dylan he can go drive the car. It's definitely like more car than he's ever driven before. We were out testing like 6 months ago, and he went out and he says he didn't break the car, but I think he's the one who broke the car. And the throttle body exploded, so he switched that. So the car should be bulletproof, but I'm gonna go tell him that he can drive it. He's gonna be super excited.
Yeah, I'm done. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I didn't
Hey, don't break it a second time.
To be fair, it broke when he was driving it last time, but the throttle body gave out, which we've since replaced. Dylan's a really good driver. This is just a lot of car.
You're here. That's out there.
Oh!
Who is that?
Oh, it sounds good. Well, look at Calvin go. Sounds good. Turbo sounds good. No, it's misfiring. I hear it.
Told you.
Dylan is a curse with that car.
I'll pull the data log.
Don't say it. I stayed in second.
I'm not gonna say anything.
Dude, why this feels weird? Huh?
That car is a handful. It is a pro car. It is a handful to drive. It will feel nothing like anything else. Speaking of anything else, does that car look familiar at all to any of you? Throttle has purchased our 370Z.
Doesn't work very good.
2 weeks ago, Evan hit me up, and they really want to have a car that they can take out to grid lives and take to different events and stuff that is like ready to go and ready to rip. And as you guys know, I listed that car for sale because we have something to replace it. And he hit me up and I was like, Ev, I can't think of a better person than to pass this car off to. So Throttle has officially purchased the car. I don't know if we can show it in this video yet, but it obviously looks a little bit different. They're gonna be posting a full video of them kind of doing their own take and spin, and all the color and livery and everything about it is all explained in their video. But underneath all of that, I don't know if there's a big blur on screen. Underneath all of that is our 370Z. It doesn't hurt that bad that we got rid of it because we used the hell out of it. I had it for 6 or 7 years, something like that, and it's lived a very great life. It's never really failed us at all, and to have it go to not only friends, but to have it go to someone where not only one person's going to enjoy it, but all of Throttle's crew and team is gonna get behind it and driving it, and they're doing some videos today and drifting, so we kind of like found a way to match up today, and I get to see this thing have its first track day not under my ownership, which is pretty cool. All right, I rushed home because Sabrina and I have a date. Woo! 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 Who's that babe I got in the car? We have a date night tonight. We're going to one of our favorite places. I'll show you guys when we get there, and we're taking the GT3 RS. It's not that dirty right now. It's kind of dirty.
I was just admiring the interior. I'll get my camera roll.
The interior is like the...
Yeah!
All right, we just got to the restaurant. Sabrina, show them the restaurant.
you
Show them the
guys.
restaurant.
So
show them the
tonight-
restaurant. Oh,
Tonight
no.
we're at Nobu. If you guys don't know what Nobu is,
It's a very overpriced sushi restaurant
it's
that
the best. It's like the
is
best.
super overpriced.
It's not.
I don't even want to tell you.
It's not overpriced. It's the best food you'd ever.
I don't want to tell you how much this dinner is going to be, but it's amazing. If there's any special occasions or a birthday or anything and you like sushi, definitely check it out. See if there's one next to you. Amazing food, but wildly expensive. I'll
Look at
show
all
you some of
these-
the dishes.
Look at all these non-alcoholic. For me, lychee passion. I'll get that.
Wow, I'm terrible at this. Me and Sabrina already smashed this Toro belly. Now we got some crispy rice with spicy tuna, edamame, miso soup, a little margarita. Crispy rice with spicy tuna is my favorite thing in the whole entire world. Still one of the best cars, actually probably the best car I've ever owned. 370Z officially gone. But hey, look at that. Selling cars that aren't BRG. And for those that still think the BRG trend is a thing, it's not, okay? 20B, still got it. M4, still got it. Don't know when or if I will ever get rid of this one. This one is so incredibly special to me and so cool. And this works ultimately so well. But thank you guys for watching today's video. If you aren't already subscribed to the Clips channel, you can catch the next 4 days all uploaded on there before we return back to the main channel with more Porsche stuff, which there's a lot to update you guys with on that. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you boys in the next one. Peace out and keep moving forward.